Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Art Moore.
And I am your other host, Eric Hansen. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. So I know that we're going to have a bunch of new listeners this week. I've been promoting the podcast quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Also, my band website, theswooptheband.com. I got a .com.
Nice.
I know, right?
You got your own domain name. That's awesome.
Yeah. So theswooptheband.com. We're gonna get some listeners from there too.
Sweet.
So we'd like to welcome the new listeners. We are talking about noise, the podcast for your life. That's our new moniker.
Yeah, I think it's great.
We make your life better.
I agree. And listen, if you're listening to this podcast, please take a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes. Go to iTunes or Stitcher and leave a review.
Review.
No donations. We're not charging for this stuff.
And pass around the plate.
But I would like that. I mean, that's how you give back to us. You know, we are coming close to 50 episodes here. We need some reviews on the sites.
I know, it's just give. Ugh.
Join us on Facebook as well, because we've got lots of cool, like anytime I come across an article that I really like, I'm starting to post it to the Facebook group.
Oh.
And
so yeah. I've already blocked you.
You blocked me?
I've blocked my own podcast.
You blocked your own podcast?
Too much stuff. Block.
I don't even know. I posted 2 today. That was it.
2 in 1 day is a lot, Art.
2 in 1 day is a lot?
Yeah.
They were really good, though.
Oh, well, okay, then it's good. I guess I'll check it out.
One of them was the inspiration for my segment today. So, booyah.
Oh, this is exciting.
You'll get 2 examples of very similar techniques.
Yay. So, this week was a busy week. Week and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, we had a hard time getting our podcast out last week because I was in Vegas the whole week.
Yeah, you were gone.
And by the end of it, you got sick. So it was a rough week.
That wasn't fun.
But Vegas was fun. Lots of fun stuff. I went guitar shopping with my son. He really wants a Telecaster. He is so excited about Telecasters.
Which is cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Telecasters
He
are
wants
nice.
one that's already been worn in.
I want one that's signed by Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Well, we went to in Vegas. There's a guitar shop there called Cowtown Guitars, and they sell only vintage guitars.
Oh, I bet they make a killing.
And it's such a gorgeous place to be with all those amazing guitars that cost, anywhere from the least expensive was $300. The most expensive was well over $12,000.
Yeah, I was going to say $300.
It's like
pretty lucky there.
It's like a 1980 Yamaha Japanese surf guitar. And my son went right to it and picked it up and was like, "Hey, Dad, this is what I want." I was like,
"No, you don't.
For $300?
I don't think so, son." Slave labor.
From 1980? I don't know. That's a tough sell for me.
What? So if it's 60s, that's better for you?
No. It's just,
You're an 80ist.
I have nothing against the 80s.
Whatever.
I have something against putting something, valuable in the hands of a 13-year-old who literally destroys everything he touches.
Okay. So speaking of funny story, my dad used to go on business trips all the time. He got the New York Yankees. This would be, I think, 1994. 1994 New York Yankees. The whole team signed a baseball, right?
What?
He gave it to me. I was a kid.
And you went out and played with it.
And I went out and started playing with it, threw it, and he saw that and he just was like, "What are you doing?
Why would you do that, son?"
I know. And I'm like, I have the ball now, and I look at it, and there's these hand grips. You can see where the signatures are faded.
What a story, though.
And now I look at it, I'm like, I was such a prick. What a little snot I was as a kid.
But you didn't know. You didn't know the value of it.
Yeah. Stupid kids.
You had to sit down and have that conversation.
With myself.
Well, no, like a father to a son. This is important. This is one that you put on the mantle. Now, here's another one that you can just throw around with.
Yeah.
And I've written on it too. But
that's what he should have signed
copied
them all himself.
It, right? Yeah.
And then we're like, you play with this.
Yeah.
There you go. So anyway. But yeah, I still have the ball. I have no
Good
idea
for
if it's
you.
worth anything. Back in my baseball card days.
Oh, man, I had that too. I was a big baseball cardist.
So anyway, I just want to give a quick review of my band Zoogle experience.
Yes, well, let's hear about Zoogle.
So my website is theswooptheband.com. They helped me. So they help you. They walk you through building the page, right? The editing functions, everything incredibly easy. You upload your pictures, you upload your music. Very, very easy to use, easy to set up. Works with a PayPal account, so everything just goes straight to your PayPal.
That's awesome.
And like it works with a bunch of like SoundCloud, works with Bandcamp, a whole bunch of other stuff. A Nimbit account. I'm not sure what Nimbit was, but it works with Nimbit.
Nimbit is like another
They're like noise
service.
trade.
Well, kind of, but they also interface with Amazon and iTunes and all that.
Okay.
So you can, instead of going TuneCore, you can go Nimbit.
There we go.
And then also have it on the Nimbit service
Yeah.
as well. There's a couple of different options there.
And so this website service, so then once you sign up and you do an actual account. So I'm using actual money from selling the CDs that's going to fund the website. Or CDs. I sound so 90s. CDs. Selling my vinyl.
The album itself.
Selling the digital album. So I'm going to use that to pay for the cost. And they give you, like, they just found a domain name right away. Sign me up. Like, it was incredibly easy. I remember creating a website 10 years ago, and I thought it was a nightmare.
Well, did you create it by hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like finding the domain name and everything was just a pain. Now, super easy.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. I highly recommend it. It's a good service. So
Awesome.
We'll see if they, like something happens and they're like, I just tricked you. You owe us like $500. Then I'd be like, the site sucks.
Yeah, but they generally don't do that kind of stuff.
Nah.
It sounds like a better experience than Squarespace was. Squarespace was a lot of work to get it where I want it to be. And I'm kind of insane about like design and how things look. So I had to do a lot of like manual CSS inclusion. Like I had to do like my own CSS in the website to customize it like over and over and over again. And I'm still not happy with it.
So there was one point in my life where I was like, I want to become a coder. And I remember actually like doing the online courses and like getting into it, and I was doing CSS.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, this sucks.
And I used to be a programmer
I know.
back in the day and Unix systems admin. And
Such a nerd.
after doing that for about 4 years, I got to the end of it and I was like, no, I really think I want to be a stay-at-home dad. If I have the option between working and being with my kids, I'm going to be with my kids.
That's like the only logical option. I could do something or just I'll stay at home.
I'm going to stay at home.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy to have that option.
Of course.
Yeah.
Play video games, write music.
Oh, well, the video games I don't really have time for, but the writing music.
You used to.
I used to play a lot.
Mr. 300 hours a day gaming.
A day?
Boom. A year? How many hours in a day? Anyway, let's move on to news.
I feel like math isn't your strong suit.
Whatever.
Mr. Economics degree.
I know. I have an econ degree and I'm horrible at math.
All right, well, let's move on to news.
I have a bit of news that made me joyful on the inside.
Cool.
There was a pounding in my heart that has never been there. It was like, oh my goodness, what are these strange feelings? Do I have feelings? What is this salty discharge?
Gross.
Tears, Art. Tears.
Whatever. Gross.
Gross. Ooh, emotions. So, get this. I'm going to read this. American Idol is canceling.
Yes, next year is their last year.
Yeah. Well, and I love how they're like, we're canceling next year.
After the next season.
Yeah. Kind of like, what? No, it's for sure canceling. They're done.
Yeah, okay.
So, I'm going to read you the quote from Rolling Stone. Here we go. Quote, the show's true decline began in 2010, though after its main antagonist, Simon Cowell, departed to join rival Fox singing competition, The X Factor, which was his show. Like he created that.
Right.
Although that series lasted only 3 seasons in the U.S., Cowell never returned to Idol. The emergence of other music competition shows like The X Factor and NBC's successful The Voice also oversaturated the market, leading to a downturn in Idol viewership. Which I have to say, duh.
Well, I mean, after 15 years.
Yeah, there's too much. Well, and you're kind of like, oh, American Icon, that's still going on, huh? Good thumbs up for you. Although Idol found some stability in recent years with their Lopez Connick Jr. Urban panel, viewership continued to plummet, averaging a low of only 11 million viewers for their current 14th season. Which you go, 11 million viewers? Are you kidding me? But while that number would still make for a successful network sitcom, the costs and the salaries that went into Idol were prohibitively expensive. The current judges actually took a salary cut for this season.
Wow.
In order to keep the show going.
Just to keep the show going. That's amazing.
So they can't sustain it with 11 million viewers, which to me is ridiculously high still. At its peak, I guess it reached 31 million viewers. But it's asking people 2 nights a week for 3 hours each show. And I'm like, yeah, well, eventually that's going to run its course. That's just too much.
At the beginning, when it was so exciting, I mean, it was really exciting. I even watched the first few seasons, but it got old.
Well, yeah.
The format got old.
Yeah, the format is old.
And once Simon Cowell left, there wasn't that person who was
that was fun, watching him critique
succinctly,
people.
Mean about and accurate about his
But
his
yeah,
issues.
he was meanly accurate. That's what made it great.
He could have been nicely accurate, but he decided to go meanly accurate. But he was
far
always
more
accurate.
But it was far more fun.
It was a lot
that
more
way.
fun to watch. And
Yeah.
then there was always Randy Jackson. I don't know, dog. I'm just not feeling it because I don't have any more words to describe what it is that you're doing that I don't like because I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
What? How? Okay, whatever.
But I did like Cowell. I liked him being
I like Paula
playing
Abdul.
the jerk.
She was obviously drunk every episode, and that was just.
So I really didn't watch
amazing.
it, so I don't know. All I got were the clips later on of him critiquing or even criticizing performers, and I was like, awesome, I love it. I need to quote that. That's so great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this leads us to The Voice. Quote, "The Voice, which is the strongest performer amongst the shows, reached a new ratings low itself last week. The Times ventures that part of its low ratings is due to the fact that it runs in 2 cycles a year, to which I have to say, duh. But beyond that, Cowell questioned the efficacy of the show and the ability it has to break stars. Quote, who does better, The Voice judges or The Voice contestants, he asked. It's quite obvious the judges have sold a ton more records. Once again, duh. I kind of look at that and go, yeah, that was pretty obvious from the outset.
Yeah, it really was.
It's kind of like a ruse, this, hey, you're here for talent to show off to America. No, you're not. You're here to sell me albums.
Your albums. Right? Like, that's the thing. And I'm just surprised they haven't come up with their own oh wait, Keith Urban already did their own video system for whatever it, for singing their way, right? Keith Urban actually has a custom guitar he sells on an infomercial with DVDs of him playing.
Really?
Teaching you how to play.
Is this on at like 2 a.m?
It's on like at 2 a.m.
And I've missed this?
Nope. You haven't missed it. There's nothing to there. It's terrible.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sing the patented Keith Urban way. Become like oh my gosh, he's creating mini Keith Urbans. That's brilliant.
Mini Keith Urbans.
What is it, like 5 easy payments of $500 and one
like
really
that.
hard payment of
No,
wampum?
it's like $200 for the guitar and the DVDs or something like that. But
that's not it. Order now, and you're going to get a self-autographed picture of Keith.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Yeah. So anyway, my take is I've never really cared for those shows. They always felt like I was sitting in my high school gymnasium watching the talent show. Just this pubescent exuberance that made me want to gag.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was super cheesy. So I tuned out a while ago. Well, and And of course, you know, I've always followed Kelly Clarkson. She's deep in my heart.
Great.
Posters of her, you know.
Okay. I saw her in concert once. I was so bored.
Serious?
Yeah.
She was bad?
It was her and Reba McEntire, and they were together. And they were good. It was a good concert, but we were just way too far away. And, you know, I was just like looking at them, and I was just like, this is really kind of boring.
They were like ants.
Well, they were like ants, but also just like the concert itself wasn't like exciting. It wasn't fun.
Really?
It was just boring.
Needed more fireworks, I guess.
Needed more something. I don't know.
Or something.
Better singing, I guess. I don't know.
Ouch.
No. They're great singers. I just
needed better.
I think they had a
overall
rough night or
performance.
something. I don't know. It was not my favorite night. It was a fine night, but you know,
Would have been better had Celine Dion played.
I saw Celine Dion in concert. She was amazing.
For real?
Oh yeah, I saw her in Vegas, and that was one of the most amazing concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, that's different because that's like the whole venue was devoted to her, right? And
Right,
she'd
but-
been performing there night after night.
Yeah, I mean her show was tight, and it had dancing, and it was more akin to like a Broadway production than
Right.
it was like a rock show. But I think that she's been doing that kind of show for years and years before she even got to Vegas.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well,
whatever.
Yeah, Vegas knows how to put on a good show. Like the producers there are pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah, but the producers at like the Muse show were amazing. Like that was a phenomenal
Yeah.
show. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I was the same distance away for both those shows that I was for the Reba show. And I didn't, you know, think like, oh man, I'm too far away. I was always like, this is amazing.
Oh, well, yeah. Muse is amazing.
I'm in the nosebleed seats and I'm happy to be here because this show is so good.
We weren't in the nosebleeds for Muse.
Yeah, we were. We were all the way in the back.
Yeah, but we were right in front of them.
We were in the front, in the back, not up high, but okay, not nosebleed, but never mind. Shut up.
So
We weren't in the front row. Okay.
So I went and saw Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, right? Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin, when they toured in 1994. I was nosebleed. Like my back was to the top of the
End of the
amphitheater.
venue. Okay.
And they were ants, but it was so loud, so much energy in that place. I still consider it one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, those concert venue PAs are phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Like what the massive amounts of power.
Okay, the good,
Holy
the
smokes.
people who know what they're doing, right?
They're so good at
you
that.
get those crappy ones. I've been to some concerts where I'm like, okay, the sound was really bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a big name concert like that. I've been plenty of, you know, little local shows where the mixer obviously doesn't have an idea what EQ or compression
those ones are
is.
really funny. Speaking of, okay. Side note, if I may, I have this compliance training I have to listen to for my work. It's awful, right? This whole sexual harassment, don't do trade secrets, blah, 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 right?
Okay.
5 hours of compliance training that I have to watch these videos. The sound quality on them is so bad.
Oh no.
You can hear, okay, the lady recording it goes back and forth, and then it moves the mic like this, and you hear the mic move, right? And there's pops, there's no EQ, there's no compression whatsoever. And then when she stops talking, there's a good 30 seconds of dead air afterwards. And I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, someone give me a audio producer, please.
Just a boom mic. One boom mic.
The
please.
show, you've ruined me, Art. You've ruined me.
This show will ruin you for bad audio. You can have bad video, but if the audio is good, you can forgive a lot. If the audio is bad, nothing is forgivable. It really isn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Audio is so important, and many people just don't believe it. I did a show once. It was a musical, and I had a list of things that we needed to do to the sound system to make it actually functional. You know, like pointing the speakers in the right direction. And
That's hilarious.
that was a big one, right? They were basically pointed straight at the first row. So the first row got the whole thing, and the mixer in the back was like, I can't hear enough high end. I'm going to turn up the high end. And so the people in the first row were basically, it was like ear splitting because they couldn't, it was way too much trouble. And so as I kept
That's really funny.
you know, walking on the room and listening, I was like, we're too trebly. But back here, it sounds way too bassy. obviously our monitoring position is incorrect. So we need to fix the actual
Good for you.
speakers.
Look at you.
They had no idea how to they put the band behind the stage, and they had no idea how to get the sounds from the band all the way up there. I was like, microphones? They're like, what?
What are these crazy things?
We need to mic up everything.
Yes.
That was a hard show.
No, I remember stage managing a show one time, and they wanted surround sound, but they were like, why doesn't it feel surround? So I climb up around top, and I'm like, oh, it's because the back speakers aren't plugged in.
Yeah.
And people are just like,
why isn't this working?
Oh. I know. You're like, that's a novel idea.
And
we want surround
sound? Surround sound mixing?
Yes. What? I know. I'm like, wow. Anyway.
I
okay.
don't know how to function in those environments anymore.
I don't either.
I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't care. Like, whatever it is you guys want to do.
No.
I'm
Art,
involved.
put your foot down. Be manly music production man.
That's why I have my own studio. I own this place. This is me. I get to do what I want to here.
That's a good point.
I still have clients.
Until I come in and trash it. All right, next bit of news. I've one more. Or I've two big things. Two big things.
Hit me.
All right, so the John Lennon Songwriting Contest ends on June 15th, which means this podcast will be the perfect reminder to head to the John Lennon Songwriting Contest website and submit your music. I'm going to submit a song. I recommend everyone else submits a song. It's
That's
like a
awesome.
$15 entry fee. Let's do this. And we'll say, like before the song, we'll say, dedicated to talking about noise. And then jump into the song.
That's weird and awesome. I think it's a great idea.
That'd be totally awesome. So everyone's like, what is this weird talking about noise?
Seriously.
The American Songwriter Lyric Contest. The American Songwriter is a magazine.
Right.
They have 6 issues a year. Their lyric contest is up in 3 weeks as well.
Okay.
And you can win a Gibson guitar and a Shure SM58.
Ooh.
So that one's $30. I don't think I'm going to enter into that one, but just a reminder to everyone, go check that one out as well. We've been talking a lot about lyrics, so we should all be pros by now, right?
Oh, I am starting a new EP, and I am just having a hard time writing lyrics. So I got that book. I'm starting to read through it, and I think what I'm going to do is just start writing and have you and my wife help me edit them.
Art,
so
we're having another lyric segment today.
Sweet.
Yay.
I'm so happy. That's awesome.
I know. I just
exactly what
cry.
I need in my life.
Yay. That's all I got.
All right, I've got a couple of news items. One is a Plug-in Watch, a company that I have been using their plugins for a long time, and they rock and they're cheap. So they're a great value, especially if you are running Reaper, but if you're running any DAW, they are fantastic. They're called Stillwell Audio Plugins.
Oh, yeah.
They're a fantastic value.
They're good.
My favorite is the Rocket compressor, the Major Tom compressor, and the 1973 EQ.
Major Tom after David Bowie's Major Tom.
Exactly. And the nice thing is that they
Ground control to Major Tom. Okay, sorry.
Exactly. They emulate a lot of those three, especially. They emulate the Neve stuff. So it really does kind of help add some nice color to your mix.
Neve being the brand of mixing console that existed back then.
And exists today as well.
Right, but they're modeling that specifically.
Exactly, right. And it's just got a good vintagey vibe, and those plugins are faithful to it and very cool. The Rocket compressor is just like insane.
And it gives you an afro. It's tight.
I turn that thing on and I'm all of a sudden I'm just just like I'm in there. I'm in the zone. It's such a great. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, and the other thing is, I have been rocking the same interface now for almost 10 years. The same audio interface, the PreSonus Fire Pod, not the FP10, but the original Fire Pod itself. And this thing has broken so many times, and I've fixed it so many times, and I actually have gotten 3 of them that I daisy chained together for 24 inputs. So
nice.
Love this interface. It's a great interface. PreSonus is coming out with their next iteration of this type of thing, and it's USB 3. So
yeah, which
it is future-proof.
you and I both need to move to USB because
eventually I'm going to move
FireWire's
to,
dead.
Like my laptop is dying that I do my mobile recording with, so I've got to go back in time, get an old MacBook.
Don't do it. Just move on to USB. The old MacBooks are no good.
So the old MacBook, it's like a $60 investment for an old PowerBook, Power PC, in order for me to run a 24 channel recording.
Don't do it.
Or I could upgrade, which I eventually will, to the new PreSonus 192. That's the name of it.
That has USB 3.
That has USB 3. And it looks awesome. 192 kilohertz, which is a lot of sampling.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay, yeah.
26 inputs. I mean, this thing is
How
fat.
much?
It runs for $900,
Whoa.
which is really reasonable for the quality.
Oh, jeez.
And then the expansion, so that's for 8 mic inputs, 8 Xmax preamps. And then to continue to add to it, each unit has 8 more. You can add the DP88, and I couldn't find a price for those. The old DP8, the Digimax D8, is around $400. So you're looking at a sizable investment to get 24 inputs. But if you're looking for something big enough for a band that's fairly future-proof, I would have to go with the Studio 192. It looks like a great deal. I love these Xmax preamps. They do really well even with ribbon mics.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay. Have to get a second job.
Well, save up. Like I've been running mine for 10 years. My FirePod 10, and
I know. If only we'd have been saving $10 a week
exactly
to build up to this new. Yeah, I'm using the Alesis FireWire Mix 12 or whatever, and I can already tell that I haven't even used it that much, but it's gonna die here soon. So.
Oh, you can tell it's having problems.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's
Yeah,
funny.
well.
I've actually taken mine apart and replaced the capacitors in it, and
Holy crap.
jumped the power cables, and just done all kinds of stuff to get it working again. And now that I know all that stuff, I'm probably going to continue fixing it.
You should
because
post a
it's
bunch
easy.
of YouTube videos.
Yeah, I probably should.
This is your friendly art,
Yeah, exactly.
assisting you with your
Take it
FirePods.
apart. But it's if you're ready for an upgrade, take a serious look at the Studio 192.
There we go.
All right.
Lyrics. Okay, so I was hesitant. I got this article from BMI, and I was hesitant to discuss this a little bit because at first the whole concept to me seemed kind of ludicrous. The concept being finding great song titles, fresh angles for your song titles. I was like, song titles? Like, who cares? Song is the song, right?
Titles are important.
So, but the more I read it, I was like, okay, I'll buy into it. Like the title can be as important as the lyrics itself because the song title usually comes from the lyric itself, typically the lyrical hook. So this is from Jason Blume. He's the author of This Business of Songwriting and 6 Steps to Songwriting Success. So he begins by saying that the title and the concept are the foundations upon which the entire lyric is built. So we had kind of addressed it previously as your lyrical hook.
Right.
And so what he's referencing in many of these things is that the lyrical hook ends up being the title. For example, he says, I looked at the Billboard's top 10 pop songs of 2014. Happy, Dark Horse, All of Me, Fancy, Counting Stars, Talk Dirty, Rude, All About That Bass, Problem, Stay With Me. Right? There's a common trend here. Very, very small, just 1 word, 2 words. The largest one is All About That Bass. That's 4 words. Right?
And yet very descriptive as well.
Yeah. So Happy is the song from Pharrell, right? And that is also the lyrical hook, which happens to be the title of the song. So when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, so maybe there's something to this. He says, I'll estimate that 95% of the lyrics written in Nashville, regardless of genre, start with the title, and that is a huge head start if you build on a title that's unique and interesting, i.e. a lyrical hook, too, right? That's unique and interesting. So, what constitutes great titles? How can you find them? The strongest titles instantly grab your attention. They tend to be unpredictable, thought-provoking, and intriguing. Don't settle for a title that's mundane. It's unlikely to rise above your competition. And he says, for example, would you rather listen to Roar or I Am Strong? I am a strong woman. Or Roar. Roar.
Yeah.
Right? It's more descriptive, has more to it. Roar happens to be, I think that's the lyrical hook in Katy Perry's song.
I think I'd rather listen to Eye of the Tiger. Because I think that might be the lyrical hook.
How funny. Yeah, let's see. But seeing as how she ripped that off, you can't use that one. Although I would have loved if she would perform that live, she would stop that song and bust into like the 80s version of Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
From Rocky 3. That would be awesome. That would be just mind-blowing. Okay. So he says, I also looked at the Billboard's top 10 rock, Christian, adult, contemporary songs of the past year. Out of these 60 mega hits, only one has the word love in the title. Meaning, we've moved on from love, right? We were still right about love, but if we're going to talk about it, we addressed this earlier.
We're not going to be as overt about it.
Yeah, you can't be overt, you can't talk about love anymore directly. Why? Because in every instance, the writers find fresh, original ways to encapsulate their concepts without relying on overused words and phrases, i.e. cliches. Instead of hitting the nail too squarely on the head, the writers of these songs framed familiar topics in unique ways. An effective way to do this is to ask yourself, how else can I say this? For example, if you say, I will love you forever, you might explore titles that express the concept in a less predictable way, such as eternally. Right? I will love you forever. Condense that down to eternally. Just an idea. Which I think he's right. Right? So he said one-word titles are hot, hot, hot right now. Super hot. So hot right now. For example, Happy, we said that. Royals, Automatic by Miranda Lambert. Fancy, Iggy Azalea. Talladega, Eric Church. Animals, Maroon 5. Blame, Calvin Harris. Dirt, Florida Georgia Line. Jealous, Nick Jonas. Bartender, Lady Antebellum. Waves, Mr. Probes. List goes on and on, right?
Yeah, that's a great list.
So the one-word title thing is pretty popular right now, which is good. I kind of like the idea of condensed emotion, right? It's like condensed milk. Just comes out powerfully. Okay, so what makes a lyric concept strong? He says, at the BMI Nashville Songwriter workshops that I teach, I frequently have music publishers ask my guests, when I ask them what kinds of songs are easiest for them to place, I'm inevitably told, bring me an up-tempo, positive song, and if it's not about love, that's even better.
All right.
Butch Baker, Hori Pro Entertainment, added, quote, I want to hear a hook approached in a way I've never heard before. Okay, and we're going to examine a song here in just a second that I think did that. And we'll go over the positives and what I think are some of the negatives.
All right.
Okay, so once again, examples of enormously successful pop hits that are not love songs, for example, Shake It Off, Royals, The Monster, Let It Go, Take Me to Church. There are some country music examples, Follow Your Arrow, I Drive Your Truck, Something in the Water. All of these are not love songs right now. So, pretty cool. So, when you do write love songs, it becomes even more imperative to find fresh, new angles. Okay, that being said, we're going to switch gears, and we're going to go over the song Bright by Echosmith.
Okay.
Now, this, I would like to point out, I listened to Echosmith way before they were popular.
Oh, please.
So I get some street cred for this.
No. No.
Okay.
We're not doing this. We're not going down this
We're
route.
totally going down this.
This is not happening.
Okay. Have you ever been to that website? There's a website. It's called Stuff White People Do. And this is one of them. It's
Yeah,
like,
this is definitely one of them.
we're obsessed with being the first people to hear like the latest music.
Oh, yeah, I was listening to them way before they became,
I listened to them before they became popular. So I remember listening to their album and I was like, oh, these guys are going to be popular.
If you're not on Noise Trade downloading new music
know.
that was released yesterday, you are not a hipster. That's all I got to say.
That's why we're so on top of it. Is we get the newsletters from Noise Trade. We know the latest stuff.
We know
dropping.
we know the newest stuff that just got recorded last night. It's been mastered and uploaded today.
Yeah, dropping like it's hot.
Yes,
and that gives me way too much credit. All right, so here's the lyric. I think the universe is on my side. Oh, this is the acoustic song. It's on the radio all the time now. I think the universe is on my side. Heaven and earth have finally aligned. Days are good, and that's the way it should be. You sprinkle stardust on my pillowcase. It's like a moonbeam brushed across my face. Nights are good, and that's the way it should be. You make me sing ooh la la. You make a girl go ooh ooh ooh. I'm in love, love. Did you see that shooting star tonight? Were you dazzled by the same constellation? Did you and Jupiter conspire to get me? I think you and the moon and Neptune got it right, 'cause now I'm shining bright, so bright. That's the lyrical, that's the hook, that's the name of the song right there.
Yep.
And she sings it, I'm shining bright, so bright. Right? And she sings that over and over again.
And this is just such a great, this is a new twist. A new twist on an old concept of like the heavens and the earth, and love and how they all intersect.
So she's singing about being in love, and she's only said the words love twice. And actually once, because the second time was kind of just a refrain, just kind of like an echoey repeat thing. Okay, so I like the chorus. It basically repeats from this point on. It just says, and I see the colors in a different way, and you make what doesn't matter fade to gray. Life is good, and that's the way it should be. And then from this point on, it just repeats the chorus. Actually, that's a good vocal, right? Or a good lyric right there. I see colors in a different way, and you make what doesn't matter fade to gray. That's actually pretty cool.
That's a really nice way to put that.
That's a fun way to address that. Okay, here's what I don't like. So we talked about earlier about using metaphors and trying to keep songs in keys, right?
Right.
If you take moon as a key, right, and you say, okay, what are all the things that relate to moon? Moon, astronomy, space,
brightness,
orbit, brightness, right? And then you try and build songs around that kind of a key. You can tell they did this with this song, but I think they overdid it. This lyric in particular really bugs me. I think you and the moon and Neptune got it right, because now I'm shining bright. Okay, you already mentioned Jupiter. It was almost like a competition. It's like, okay, we got Jupiter off the list. We got the moon. Oh, Neptune, good. Okay, we got 2 planets and a moon. And I was expecting, oh, let's see if we could add Venus and Mars, and maybe we'll go to Saturn. It's kind of like, ugh. Do you have to add Neptune in there? So I like it up to that point. Did you and Jupiter conspire to get me? Okay, that's cool. Because I think you and the moon and Neptune got it right. I'm like, okay, come on. Enough with the planets. Move on. That part bugs me. And every time I hear it, it's like a nail on a chalkboard. Like, you and the got it right. And you, stop it. Like, it really bugs me, the fact that they could not think of something else besides Neptune. Other than that, I think the song's great. It's a great, it basically relates to this article that we just read, saying, hey, find a fresh angle. This is a completely fresh angle to talk about being in love. Mm-hmm. Just get rid of the Neptune. Oh. Anyway, so overall, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Cool. I think they're good lyrics. I was trying to see if there was a chance that they were somehow referring to the Roman gods, Jupiter and Neptune. But don't really see them
No,
connecting
it doesn't
very
work
well.
because Jupiter is Zeus, right? He's the Roman version of the Greek god Zeus, and
Yep.
Neptune is the sea god
Poseidon.
Poseidon. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two really don't have a lot in
I
common.
mean, brothers, but
Right.
That's about as
then
far
you're
as
trying
it
to
goes.
Did you and your brother conspire to get me because I think you and the moon and your brother got it right? No, that doesn't work.
you and the moon and your brother. Oh, your brother.
Yeah, then it has a whole new
A
connotation.
whole different thing.
And you're like, ooh, okay.
Gross.
Nope, that doesn't work.
Well, this is cool. I'm liking these segments, and they give me hope for my lyrical adventures.
So, Art, what we've talked about before. Wake up every morning, do your object writing for 10 minutes. Okay?
Yep, I've been doing that, and I'm going to continue to do that.
And then once you start, let's just start with the backwards approach. You start with your lyrical hook, okay?
Okay.
And then work backwards.
All right.
Matter of fact, I have a song right now that I'm working on. I have the hook, and I'm working backwards from it.
Oh, cool.
And the hook just happened. Like, I was just singing, all of a sudden it popped out. I'm like, hey, that's pretty catchy cool.
Nice.
There it is.
All right. Okay. Well, are we ready to move on?
Yeah. How do you end French films? Fin.
Hello, podcasters. We're here with another mix breakdown. I wanted to share with you a song that I've been working on, and specifically a technique that I think is very valuable, especially for the home recordist. Now, last season, I went through many methods of recording drums with just one mic, and I think that has some value. But if you have two inputs, you get to do a lot more interesting stuff. It becomes a little bit easier. I posted on Facebook today a video by Apogee about their duet and recording drums with just two mics, which is definitely doable. It is definitely a great technique and not one that you need to be afraid of. It's not bad at all. So what I would like to do today is show you what I have done with just two mics on my drum kit and how that sounded and how I processed it to get it ready for the song that it goes along with. First off, we're going to start off with the mics that I use for this drum kit. Now, the drum kit's a Gretsch Catalina Maple with Zildjian ZHT cymbals. It sounds good whenever I've recorded it. I like it a lot. But the mics I used was a Rode Procaster, which is a large diaphragm dynamic mic on the bass drum, and an AT4040 as my overhead. So just two microphones, and this is what it sounded like just at the beginning. Just this is it with no processing at all. Here's the overhead by himself. Here's the overhead by himself. And here is the bass drum. Okay, so not too loud right now. It's a nice, quiet recording. It's where it should be. And you'll notice you'll hear a little "arr" in there as we go along. That was one of my sons. They came in the room and they yelled during the take, and I kind of liked it, so I left it in there. I thought it was weird and cool, and I don't know. I'm a dork. All right, so we're going to take a look at this, and I would like to show you specifically what I did with the bass drum here. I added compression and EQ, and this is what it sounded like afterwards. Now, this sounds more like what you would think a modern kick drum would sound like. And you can hear that little scream in there just a little bit. Now, while this was a good sound, I liked it. I tend to be a low-end guy. I like a lot of low-end in my bass drum. So what I did is I used a tone generator on a different track with a gate on that track as well. I used Reaper, so I used Ria gate, and I I sent the bass drum to the synth bass drum track, and I set it up to trigger Ria gate on tracks 3 and 4. So this allowed me to add in a bass synth to trigger every time the bass drum hits. So here's what that sounds like, just the bass synth by himself, and I'm probably going to turn him up just a little bit. Here's what that sounds like. Now, together with the bass drum, that's what this sounds like. And here it is without the bass synth. With it. And without. And now that I'm looking at this, we're going to adjust the gate just a little bit so it triggers every single time. Here it is one more time. Okay, so that's with that bass synth. It just adds a little low end there. Now, with the overheads, here is what I did with the overheads. I added compression. I added some EQ, and with the EQ, I did a low pass filter because I felt like the bass drum was taking care of that, and that was basically it. I didn't really add anything else. Okay, so here's what it sounded like with just a little bit of compression and that bass roll off. So I think it's a pretty good sound. I like it. Very mono, right? So it's very much in the center. The drums are not going to be the stereo element of this song, and I need to be prepared for that. I need to be prepared to widen my mix with different instruments to make this work well. Okay, I always like using parallel compression, and this time I use the RIA X Comp. It is a multi-band compressor which allows me to do more with what's going on there. So I'm going to solo just the parallel compression, and here's what that sounds like. Now, on each one of the levels here, I'm getting anywhere from 8 decibels to about 12 decibels of compression. So I am really, really just kind of compressing the crap out of this. And it sounds good on its own like that, but added together back with the regular drum track, this is what that sounds like. This is without the parallel compression. And here's what it is with. Here it is without. Here it is with. So you can start to hear like that just kind of helps out a little bit with the punch. All right. Again, I like to add reverb. So here's the reverb with our drum track. And what I like to do on these mix breakdowns is I like to bring the reverb up so you hear just way too much of it, and then I bring it down to where I feel like it really works. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, bringing it down. All right, here's without the reverb. Here it is with. So you can hear that reverb there and I'm using, let's see, Valhalla Room with that. So I think that's working well. I like that. Anyway, so that's a good drum sound with just 2 drum mics. Now the placement of the mics is the bass drum mic is in the hole of the bass drum if you don't have a hole. I like to put it nearer towards the edge than I do right in the middle, and I always try to point it right at where the beater is beating. Even if I'm pointing it through the other drum head. So, that's how I place the drum mic. There's lots of different options, and if you start getting into more drum mics than one, you can put it on the batter head. You can put it a few feet out. If you're using a ribbon mic, you can get a lot of low end, which I think is a good option as well. So this drum sound I think is great for 2 drum mics, 1 overhead and 1 bass drum mic. Let's start adding in some of the other things we gotta do to make this song work. I'm going to add in the bass drum, the bass guitar. Here's what this sounds like. And here is the rhythm guitar. Okay, and then finally I added in a little kind of effects guitar on the top. Here's how that sounds. So you can hear there, like, well, you can hear it continuing on right now. At this point, I have to figure out what I'm going to do to make this song sound better in stereo. So I took the rhythm guitar and I panned it both left and right. I took 2 takes of it and I panned those left and right. So that gave me a good stereo image out there. I left the bass right up the center and down low. That worked well. And then with the effects guitar, I put a ping pong delay that went back and forth on both sides. Here's what it sounds like from the beginning all the way to the end. And that's my mix breakdown today. I think that there's some value in that and how that comes together. I think that the big thing here is that you need to remember, like, recording is not this thing that is so difficult that it's not doable. Does that make sense? Like, you can get in there and you can record a good drum sound pretty much wherever you are and whatever you're doing. So you just got to get in there and do it. If you just have one mic, go back to last season's episodes and find the one mic episode, because there's several techniques in there to do it like that. And then if you have multiple mics, you can get still a great drum sound, even as few as 2. Don't be afraid of those mono drums. They can sound tight and you don't have to worry about phase issues, but it all comes together. Okay, one more time, because I'm starting to like this song. I think some parts need to be re-recorded and a little more stuff done to it. But here it is for one last time, and then I'm out of here. That's my mix breakdown.
Wait, where was the end?
I know. I got cut off at the end. Sorry.
So I want to eventually, if I get to the point where I'm a pretentious artist in the future,
Yep.
I'm going to have an album, right? And the bonus track, it'll be like the hidden bonus track, right? It'll be nothing but like Beethoven style endings. Dun 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 dun. Dun-dun. And then people are like, it's over now. It's done.
It's done. Nope, it's not done. Yeah.
Awesome.
It sounds good.
That was great, Art.
I'd like the idea of recording drums instead of using samples, instead of doing all, I like the feel of it. I like
of course,
having a drummer in there.
You mean using real drums for a real drum sound? That's nuts.
But it takes time and it takes effort. You have to spend the time to really get in there and to work it and to learn how to do it. It's not something that comes easily. It's not something that comes fast. You have to make a lot of bad drum recordings before you get good ones.
So you said something, I think you should trademark it. It really resonated. Just do it. Just do it. I think that's a fantastic slogan.
That is a great slogan.
I love it. So I'm gonna make it like talking about noise. Art said, just do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
It's gonna catch on fire. It's gonna be hot.
We need
hot.
a logo for it too. Maybe we can come up with some ideas. I'm thinking something like
ancient Greek,
like a wave or something.
Something. Yeah. That's
something
good.
Like that. I don't know.
A little swoosh, kind of. I'm not sure.
Maybe a swoop. Maybe we could just put a little swoop in there.
Oh. All right. Picks of the week.
Here we go.
We've reached that time again where it is the end of the podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, mainly me and Art,
and our wives.
No, like it's funny.
Qualified sponsors.
It's funny listening to like the NPR podcasts. How they're like, we'd like to thank Templeton Investments, blah 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 blah, where you can invest money wisely. I'm like, it's a stupid podcast. Back off. Anyway,
and you know, I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and it seems Audible is just the default. They're like,
I know everyone gets
Audible
sponsored by Audible.
Thing.
Nature Box has become huge lately. They're on a lot of my podcasts.
Oh, that's interesting.
But anyway, okay. So picks of the week. I'm gonna go old school, new school. So there was a girl who came out same time as Michelle Branch.
Okay.
Her name was Vanessa Carlton.
Oh.
She looked almost exactly like her and had a song that was very similar, except that she was piano, Michelle Branch was a guitarist.
Okay.
And everyone got them confused. They're like, oh, isn't she that like one girl, that Branch girl? I actually thought she was very talented, but she kind of fell between the bleachers, I guess.
Weird.
She's coming out with a new album. So the EP is on Noise Trade, of course. It's called Young Heart. The song is called Young Heart, her new song. So check it out. I thought it was pretty cool.
Spring, summer, winter apart. 'Cause my eyes see one color, my mouth tastes one taste. All of the beauty and nuance you take. And I've always loved you, haven't always loved you right. I had no direction, I had no clear sight. Now that I'm older and I've moved through the times.
It's new. It's different. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. My pick of the week is also old school, new school. I was going to do Audio Slave as my pick of the week.
They haven't come out with
love that
something.
band.
Yeah, they haven't come out with something because they aren't a band anymore. But
I know they haven't been a band for a long time, but I still listen to that band.
yeah, they were great.
They were so good, and I realized the reason I love that band so much is because of Tom Morello, the guitarist.
Yeah. Well, it was Rage Against the Machine with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden.
Exactly.
How could that not be awesome?
It was amazing. So my pick of the week, not Audio Slave, which I think you should go listen to because they're amazing. But my pick of the week is going to be Tom Morello.
Does he have new stuff out?
He has new stuff out all the time.
Shut up.
He does it under the name of the Night Watchman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
A lot of acoustic stuff, but every once in a
What?
while,
Acoustic stuff?
I know, right? Every once in a while, you'll get his whammy pedal solos stuff.
Oh, man.
Because he's insane with that whammy pedal.
Maybe I lost my mind. Lost and lonely and blind. I need your love. I need your love.
I swear, Rage Against the Machine had to be one of the best bands ever. Ever. Oh, they were so good.
And a large part of that was Tom.
And then,
Because
well, of course,
he
he
is
was
just
amazing.
such a fantastic
He was
guitarist.
amazing. And then the
And
VMA Awards ruined it all.
Such a weird, great guitarist, right? He's great for all the weird reasons.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like
love that about
It's
him.
like he would do a guitar solo, and you're like, "That's not a guitar solo. That's
Yeah.
just wobbly gook."
That's just noise.
But it was cool. Huh?
But it was awesome. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like wow, and you're like, "That's cool, man.
Cool.
That's cool." I know, going back to the good old days, but was it Guitar Hero where you actually have to battle him? It's Guitar
Oh,
Hero
wow.
3, I think.
Oh,
something like
man.
that. Don't you remember that?
I never played any of the guitar. I played them. I would play them and I would like stand up and people were like, oh, you're a guitarist. This should be fun and easy for you.
Oh, I know. It's awful
And
as a guitarist.
As a guitarist, it was like nothing made sense because you were hitting buttons that were out of order.
Yep.
You were trying to play solos that were out of, nothing.
That's exactly how I felt.
nothing
That's why
yeah.
I couldn't play them. I had to do either the drums or the vocals because doing guitar, I was like, oh, I hate this. This is not like guitar at all.
This is not like a real guitar. And my biggest issue was I set it up and I kept failing over and over and over again until I realized you have to like fix the latency. There's a latency issue there. So once I fixed the latency
we all
issue,
have things we blame it on, Art.
I was right on. Like I was nailing it.
Whatever.
That,
You're so full
that
of it.
said, it's a mess.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. It's been a great podcast.
Please go give us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. And, oh, by the way, we're on YouTube. So if you want to send a YouTube video of our podcast to somebody, send it to them.
That's right. I upload all of them to YouTube now. So
They're all getting uploaded to YouTube. And, yeah, like us on Facebook. And we're out of here.
out, yo.